So YouTube has changed its rules when it comes to small YouTubers. What does that mean for you and for me? Let's find out. Hi everyone, Brunel here. We're coming to you with a different video. Not normally my kind of thing to do with beauty, fashion or anything like that at all. But this is something that actually affects all of us small YouTubers. Those of us who have less than 10,000 views in total on our channels. So now, if you, just in case you're not aware, YouTube has been going through some major issues with regard to advertisers and boycotts and so on at the moment. And they're bringing in new rules. And this is one of the new rules effective that they brought in only a few days ago. And I'll just read the statement, which says, not in a few weeks, it says here, starting today, which was, I think, 2 days ago, we will no longer serve ads on YPP, which is a YouTube partnership videos, until the channel reaches 10K lifetime views. This new threshold gives us enough information to determine the validity of a channel. It also allows us to confirm if a channel is following our community guidelines and advertiser policies. By keeping the threshold to 10,000K views, we also ensure that there will be minimal impact on our aspiring creators. And of course, any revenue earned on channels with under 10K views up until today will not be impacted. Now, there is another bit there that I think you should really keep an interest on if you are a small YouTuber or you're going to start out or you've just started out. It says, in a few weeks, we'll also be adding a review process for new creators who apply to be in the YouTube Partner Program. After a creator hits 10K lifetime views on their channel, we'll review their activity against our policies. If everything looks good, we'll bring this channel into the YPP and begin serving ads against their content. Together, these new thresholds will help ensure revenue only flows to creators who are playing by the rules. Right, so that is the YouTube statement. Now, just right off the bat, what I would say is don't panic if you are starting out or if you are a small YouTuber. Do not panic. Let's just talk about the money side of it first of all, because this is about monetization and therefore that allows you to be able to earn money on adverts played on your channel. In the old days, it was really simple. You create a channel on YouTube, you create an AdSense account, link the two, and then you start earning money that way, slowly but surely. Okay, that's the old way. Now they're changing it so that across your channel, you have to have 10,000K views, which is a lot if you are starting out and your channel is doing an average of 150 views per video. Or 50 views even per video. When you're getting your 50 views per video or something like that and you're struggling, you're starting out, you're trying to work out what you're doing with your channel, how often you're going to upload and so on, that 10,000 is a huge amount. However, in money form, it really isn't, because when you start off with YouTube, even when you monetize, there is a threshold. Here in the UK is £60. So you have to earn on a monthly basis and accumulate until you hit 60 before Google pays you anything. Once you've hit 60, then what will happen is that Google will send you a small form, a letter to advise you basically that you need to activate your account. You then need to access your AdSense account and then be able to add in bank account details. They will then send you a particular amount to your bank account. And then what you do, having seen that amount, you then go back to your AdSense account and confirm which amount it is. And then hopefully at that point you get paid. I'm still struggling with that one because I still haven't worked out why they can't pay me yet. But that's how it happens. So the threshold in the UK is £60. 10,000 views is not going to get you anywhere near £60 at all. I can tell you that. It really doesn't. It's not going to earn you much. If you're lucky, probably maybe a tenner. Really, to be honest. And that is the reality of it. So this is not money that suddenly you're losing a major amount of money on. However, if you are a small YouTuber, every video that you then put into account, it's a learning curve. It's your time. And if you are then going to invest in things like equipment such as lighting, if you're going to use a specified camera, if you're going to look at your internet connection, if you're going to look at the time it takes you to go and get whatever product it is you're going to talk about or review or anything else, the time it takes and the effort that it takes to be able to create those videos, the software that you might have to use to edit your videos, if you're not choosing free software, which I would advise you to look very carefully at the beginning so you don't go and spend a fortune because it costs money. All of that is time and money. And if you think of it as a business, you are operating at a loss. So it doesn't matter in the end whether it's £1 or 50p or £10 that you are earning. It is money well earned. You've put your time and effort into. So that also I can get and understand. But I just wanted to say that in terms of money that you would lose when it comes to 10k, despite the fact that if you're starting 10k views across your whole channel for all of your videos, it seems a lot, but money wise, it really isn't. It's not money that someone's going to ring in you and say, give us your bank account because I need to pay you. That's not going to happen. What I do have issue with is that because of advertiser boycotts are taking place at the moment, where the advertisers, if they've got any content, they don't want their adverts played next to contents which they would find objectionable. Now, I understand that, but the problem with something being objectionable is that it is subjective. What I might find really offensive and I object to, somebody else may not. Don't get me wrong, there are things on YouTube that should never, ever have been allowed to be published at all. The problem is I have with this is that for me, my understanding, what I can see is these are kind of sweeping rules to a certain extent. You're using a sledgehammer to deal with something that's that small. It's not in proportion itself. Yes, I understand that as an advertiser, you don't want to be, you have your reputation and you're as a company, as a business. And when you place your adverts, you want to be able to target them to, first of all, to the right audience, because there is no point, for example, if we're talking gaming, no point someone advertising a gaming stuff on my channel, because I'm talking about beauty and stuff like that. So that's never going to work. One or two people might look at it and go, ooh, let me go and try this game. But really, that's not what it's about. So you need to have it targeted. And I understand about reputation, but it seems as if those kind of like the spectrum seems to be quite broad. I watch a lot of kind of political channels. For example, I have David Pacman. I do watch things from Franco, whatever his name is, and also I also have a thing like the Advisory channel as well. They have kind of political and real life events taking place, and they can be classed as controversial, and therefore that, as far as I've seen on YouTube, some of them have complained that that's actually affected their income. On top of that, you also have this big thing going in YouTube at the moment where people don't want to go if you've got an affiliate link, or if you have a sponsored video, people seem to take issue with that. Now, I get why, to a certain extent, people have issues with when you have content and they're not too sure whether you're actually being truthful with your reviews and the product and so on. I can get that. But to simply blanket, just not support any channel because they have sponsorships and affiliate links, that is unfair. If you then take that into account and you have a problem with that income, and then you also marry that up with the fact that you don't have many views and that's going to be affected, then that's going to be a problem. The other thing is, from what I can see on these rules here, when it comes through to new YouTubers, not only do you have to go first of all to the 10k, but they're then going to review the content. Now, they may decide for whatever reason that actually, no, I don't agree with that particular content over there, and they won't allow you to earn a penny. Now, I don't know how forthcoming YouTube is when it comes to telling individuals why they've not monetized their videos and so on. I don't think, from the impression I've gotten, that they actually that great. So you may not even be in a position to know why they've decided which particular content in the video they've looked at and said, no, we're not going to allow you to monetize. You are operating at a loss. Every penny counts. And I am just worried that that's going to, negatively impact other people. The problem is, this is about content, inappropriate content. And I really think that what happens if you've got more than 10,000 views? What happens if you've got 20,000 subscribers and you've got more than 10,000 views, got a million views? And your content is objectionable. What then? What happens? Do they leave you alone at that point? Or are they just targeting somebody who's below 10,000 views? I don't know the answer to that as well. And that kind of worries me, because to me, if it's about the content itself, That's where you should be looking at. And irrespective of whether you have 10 views, 20 views, 50 views, 1,000 views, 10,000 views, 50 million, 50 million views or anything like that, the content, if it's actually deemed inappropriate, reasonably inappropriate, then that shouldn't be allowed anyway. It doesn't really matter at what stage you are. And on top of that, if your content is actually inappropriate and you have a huge following and you have massive amount of views, you're actually more likely to have an impact on what happens than if the content was for someone who has a small amount of subscribers and a small amount of views. There is less of an impact. The bigger the audience, the more the impact. And to me, that's where you really should be looking at. If they can find a way of being able to really, really look at content individually, be able to have a human being break down the content and say, well, do you know what? This is kind of objectionable, but it's not offensive. Or, because sometimes it may just be that you're discussing an offensive subject and you're not agreeing with it, but because you've actually put that in there, they can actually demonetize your content, and therefore you're not earning any money for it. That's not fair, and they need to find a way of being able to do that. But that's besides the point. That's my worry. But however, if you are small and you're thinking 10,000 and I'm not going to earn money, then I would say, yes, it isn't fair. I don't like it, but I'm lucky enough that although I've got a very small audience, this doesn't affect me because my viewers, when you put it the total, is way above the 10,000K in total. So that doesn't bother me. But for anybody else, it is unfair that just because you have a small following and a small amount of views, so you cannot earn and build up on it. You spend just as much money as somebody else. In fact, when you're starting YouTube, you are operating at a loss and every penny counts, and you should be able to earn money on that. The idea of monetizing and checking and actually, checking channels for their content, do that with everyone else. That's fair. But don't just pick on those who are the small YouTubers just because they've got a smaller amount, and therefore you kind of penalize them and say, okay, well, your content might be fantastic, but you have to reach 10K. That is one aspect of it. But for you and as a small YouTuber, what it means money-wise, do not panic. It isn't going to be a fortune. In order to get to the point where you have a threshold here, you're probably going to have to talk, we're talking 30, 40, 50,000 probably views before you can even hit the threshold of the £60 that we've got here, or $50 or $55 in America. So that gives you an idea of just how many views you need to get before you can get money that will be land into your bank account. But every penny counts, and you need to build in order to get to £70 or £60 or $55, you have to start with one. And if you're not allowed to earn that until you hit 10,000, to me, that is unfair. But that is my opinion. You don't have to like it. And I hope that this is informative. I've read that. Spread the word and let everybody know. Make sure that they understand. And if you have any questions, then I'll try and answer them and post them in the comment section. And I will try and come back to you. But for now, thank you and bye. See ya.